Hit the button. And we'll still get it in at 6 o'clock if you will just. Thank you.
Welcome to the most professional. You know what's funny? You know
The
what's
most
funny,
professional.
PB? You know what's funny? I sat here and had a great interview with Killjoy Jank about his
I
independent
know.
film. I was all professional, and then this motherfucker's like, "Ah, man, we still got like 2 seconds before the end
No,
of
no.
the year."
No, we had 2 seconds before it hit 6:01 because when I got here, it was triple zeros at the top. And I was like, click the button, click the button.
So yeah, so being that we started this way, people are gonna hear my list while I'm eating this delicious pot roast stew with some bread that my wonderful, beautiful future wife
She
is.
baked you
Yep.
bread? Future.
No, she
What?
didn't bake. She didn't bake me bread. She just got this great bread right here, and I'm gonna proceed to eating the bread whilst we're talking about this list. And I gotta tell you, PB laid down the gauntlet. He laid down the
I did
challenge.
not. Well, you okay?
He said,
You're
"Zach,
wrong. First of all, no, I did
five
not what I said.
movies."
This is not what I fucking said. That is
He
not
said,
the comment. I literally fucking called you because I was getting messages. Hey, is there gonna be late night talks? And I was like, well, let's find out. I go straight to the horse's mouth. I give the general a phone call. I call him up. He goes, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the top 20 movies of 2022, which I know I would have did the top 22, but whatever. Be clever. Be clever. And then all of a sudden, this is the conversation. And then I said, oh, you just gave me an idea. We could make a composite list for the Prophets of Geek Culture. And we could take my list and Zod's list and Husky's list and whichever other prophets actually want to show up and do something with us, please come back. Anyway, um, we make these lists and then we can, figure out some type of point system so that we can rank all the movies accordingly and give you a Prophets of Geek Culture top 5 of 2022. So that was the entire conversation. And then today, I messaged him again and I was like, hey, what about the stream? And he goes, yeah, we're doing it. We talked about it yesterday. Like, what's wrong with you, moron? And I was like, I know that we talked about it yesterday. You told me you were going to set it up when you set the other stream up. And the other stream has been set up for I don't know how long, at least a little while now. I didn't message you right after that. And I was like, are you setting it up? He goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to set it up. You make a thumbnail. It'll be up there eventually. And I was like, oh, my God. Okay. So then I see that the stream is finally up. And what does it say? Top 5. And I was like, oh, so he decided to change his mind. He's not going to do a top 20. He's just going to do a top 5. Whatever. I'm just making a thumbnail. I got no problem. I'm just here to commentate.
"Oh,
So I'm watching the stream earlier. And this son of a bitch over here says, oh, come to the late night talk specials. All of us are going to have our top 5 movies. And I went, I don't have a top 5 list. I didn't make a
didn't you
list.
talk about it last night?"
Yeah, I talked about an idea that I had. I was like, oh, we could make lists and then we could all do it together. And then you were like, yeah, we could do that. And then you bastardized it again.
So, did you make the list?
Yeah, I got a list of 5 movies. I haven't seen as many movies as you, so there's probably some really good movies out there that could have been in the top 5, but I didn't fucking see them, so I can't put them in my top 5.
And
That's
then
how it
I
works.
had the inverse because I had started with 30 and I was crossing them off going, okay, well, now I got to do a whole different metric. Like, out of these ones, which one would I watch the most? And then that could also be informed because, yeah, a movie could be really good, but then I'll be like, I'm only going to ever watch this once in my life. Like, it's a great movie. But maybe it's too depressing or it's not something you grab off the shelf and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this gut wrenching rip out my soul movie today because I feel like throwing myself off of a roof. So so I was like, that I kind
Wait,
of sort of.
you needed your soul ripped out.
I mean, sometimes you're having those days and you're like, my life could be worse, but let me watch The Patriot. Yeah, his life was worse.
The Patriot? No, it's been a long time since I've seen The Patriot. Did he have a bad life? Oh, did he
I mean, he had
really?
a good
I think
life
that he
until the
had a bad
British were
life.
coming. I mean, it was good until Britain was burning houses and his son got shot by that douchebag who's a great actor. And, then he had to go into war and fuck him up. And, Heath Ledger as a younger Heath Ledger. But yeah, so I put this together and crossed it out. I'm like, I'm pretty happy with this list because it
Of
forced
course,
me
you're happy with yourself. Shocking.
it forced me to be like, all right, you know, yeah, these were the movies I felt like, yeah, that's my top of 2022. And I know we had some comments from PurpMinded like with my worst list, like, why wasn't Terror on the Prairie on there? And I'm glad that you got that. I was like, or Husky, where I was like, I fucking forgot that was a movie. I legitimate it would have been on my worst list because I did not like it at all, but it was so unforgettable. I mean, I'm sorry, forgettable that I forgot it was a thing, like a really hyped up thing too, by people we know. Terror
Oh,
on the Prairie, exactly. Bitchy
what?
looked at me and goes, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the Western with Gina Carano." Yeah, nobody does. Um, so it was done by Daily Wire. So she started laughing. so like yeah, there was that, but I felt like even with that, I still think that it was weird watching the Perp Awards and seeing it win the worst because I feel like Jeepers Creepers Reborn should win the worst on everything. Like you're talking about a literal movie that had actual mistakes. Like Terror on the Prairie was bad, but there weren't actual like technical mistakes seen in the movie like Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I think that should be on everybody's worst list. Like it's annoying on a story level, but it's annoying on a oh yeah, legit. Oh yeah, there's at least one Nick Cage. Come on, Lemon Pie. Come on. This is me. There is a Nick Cage on. Like I looked at my list and I was like, oh yeah, Nick is here. Like that's not shit. It could have been top 10, top 20, top 300. Nick would still be on there. Like if there's a Nick like next year, there's a Nick Cage movie coming out, it's gonna be on my list. Like that should be expected. Like this what's sad is more reviewers don't have Nick Cage on their list, but that's okay. They haven't caught up with the greatness that is the Cage. Like they don't understand him. I feel like that's what it is. Like there's truly great performances, and I feel like they grade on this, but it's Nick Cage, and he's goofy, and he's become a
Yeah,
meme.
I didn't see that movie. I didn't see that movie. See, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a bunch of great movies out there I never seen.
So, uh,
Are you
let
eating a? Wait, so what are you? I thought you. What's the bread for?
to dip in the stew.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
You have
yeah.
like a quarter-inch of butter on the bread.
Of course. Like,
Okay.
come on. Like that's the only way you should be eating that. If you are not, why? So, before we get started, how hard was it for you putting your list together? Did you just like, yep,
I
I
did it
know
in the
this
last
movie?
half an hour.
You were like, yeah, this
Well,
seems good.
I don't even know. There might be movies that I saw because it came out this year and it was on like Netflix or HBO Max or Disney Plus or something like that. And it came out this year. I could have watched it, and it could have been really good. And then I could have fell asleep immediately afterwards and completely forgot about it.
But I feel like, see, that's where you saying top five seemed like a good idea, but because it forced me to be like, okay, I've seen all these movies, right? But what ones do I remember vividly that left an impact, right? Those should be on the list because clearly
Oh, okay. We're talking about movies that left an impact. Hey,
impact.
so
Like
you'll love my number one.
oh
Full
god,
impact.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this. I'm super excited. Folks, strap in. Tonight is our top 10 list, and of course, bullshitting. And I'm doing this early because this is the first time in years I have to work Christmas Eve
You just
at
said like we
11.
got all kinds of people here in the chat, and you ain't said hi to none of them. We've been going for
So,
like 10 minutes. You didn't say hi to fucking no one.
So, uh, clearly, old Saint Nick over there, or the Viking version of Saint Nick, wants us to address the chat. So go ahead, go down the line. Let's say hi to everyone, and then we could just start
I'm
jumping right
gonna.
into this shit.
Okay, let's jump all the way to the top. What's up, Lemon Pie? Are you also going to say hello when I say a name?
Oh yeah, between my chewing. What up,
Fair
lemon
enough.
pie? I don't want to be
What's up?
rude.
No, that's fine. What's up, Sean B?
What's up, Sean?
Merry Christmas, Christine.
Merry Christmas. And I'm so glad people are using Merry Christmas and not that bullshit. Happy holidays, because we're all diverse here. Thank
I
you. It's
mean,
Merry
wait.
Christmas.
How do you feel about Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays? Or how do you feel about Happy Christmas and Merry Holidays?
I feel like this. Happy holidays is something like there's a bunch of holidays coming up, so you're saying, oh, everybody have good holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like New Year's Eve. Bitch, he brings
What
up that.
the actual fuck?
On your right. Oh, you switched it up because I got on your left last stream.
So wait a second. So okay, well then it has nothing to do with the fact that you should go check out Tim's talk. He just hit 1K. He's fucking rocking it.
Good job, Tim. Congrats. Welcome to the club we're gonna forever be stuck at. But I'm fine.
Oh my
I
god.
am fine.
Dude, I'm not even there yet. I'm not even there yet. Hello, Carrie.
Hello, Carrie. I'm not gonna say it all seductively, but you get it.
That's fine. Hello, Q's Queen.
That'd be weird.
You're on early, Zod. Can't stay, gotta go to work. But she popped
Uh,
in to say hi. She's probably gone already. Well, maybe not. Oh, yep, she just left.
Hello. Hey, Planets Q's Queen.
Those are all the
Thank you.
names there in the chat.
But yeah, so let's just dive right into this. Do you want to do your whole number 5 thing?
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? You just want me to like say number 5.
Exactly, in the radio DJ voice I'll never have. People like my insights, but they're like, "Why do you sound like one of the chipmunks?" So
Why do you sound like Alvin's shorter cousin?
like I'm the chipmunk that they don't even like because he's too annoying. All right. My number 5, and when compiling this list, this movie surprisingly just stuck with me as one I knew would be on here, but I didn't realize how high up I was gonna put it till I rewatched it. Nope. I fucking love this movie. I love it on every level. I've rewatched it several times. I think, and I'll go so far as to say, while I don't think it is as good, because my feelings on Us. I did a whole live stream on that. Like, for me, I don't think it beats Us. I do think that it is a fucking awesome movie. And thought provoking, and that design for a creature is something I've never
Wait,
seen
did you say
before.
the name of your movie?
Nope.
Oh. Okay, what is
So,
it?
no. Nope.
No, I asked you if you said the name of it and you told me nope.
Nope.
Huh.
So, my number 5 is going to be nope. What did you have for your number 5?
Good question. I have to consult my list. Let me go to my list. Number 5 is an instant holiday classic. A Violent Night. Did you see that movie?
Oh my god, you know what? I was so
Oh,
close
it's so
to
good.
putting it.
It's
I'm
so good.
so
What's up,
close.
Terrence?
What's
Terrence,
up, T Virus?
Terrence, I'm sorry. We would invite you on, but we do not have 10 hours.
We do not have 10 hours, but if you want
What
to
is
come
this?
on
He
for
says hello, Zod, like I'm fucking chopped liver.
because
I'm the only
Terrence understands
person.
the
I'm the only
mastermind.
person in the fandom zone that knows what his dad sounds like when he's upset.
What? This is your final year on YouTube? No, we can't go a year
Oh,
without
wait, like his actual final year on YouTube, or he's
Like I don't know. I refuse to believe this is his final year. I think he's just gonna come back, like like in the Terminator when they had the updated models.
Wait, what do you mean? Which Terminator?
Like T1 you had the standard T1000, right? And then in T2 you had the liquid metal one.
Oh, okay. And then is it T3 or T4 that he is a man, a robot man?
I think it was 4.
Okay.
I can't. It gets
I,
fuzzy after
I
4.
love that twist. I thought that twist was great.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Like,
definitely.
people hate on that fucking movie, but yeah, it's not. None of them, not even the first one, is Terminator 2. Like,
No, no. It's like
none of
it's
it's
so.
Terminator 2, and then you have the rest of them, and then you're like, wait, did they make a movie where they killed John? No, they didn't.
No, that
No, they
one.
didn't.
That one. That we all agree that was a bad dream. It never happened.
It's a fever dream.
So
Get
so
it the fuck out
Violent
of here.
Night. That's an interesting choice, and I'm not gonna
Dude,
lie.
Violent
It
Night,
was
dude,
in top
it was
10.
fun. It was fun.
It was great.
Like
It was.
it wasn't an overly long movie, and it wasn't too short. There wasn't any time in the movie where I was like, oh, we need to like get back into some action, because when there wasn't action, there was comedy, and when it was going at its best, it was comedy plus the action. Like
And
when he blows the guy up with the grenade, that whole scene is spectacular.
not to mention too, isn't it weird that this R-rated movie, right? That's kind of ridiculous in its premise,
Oh
still
yeah.
has a great holiday message. Like I saw that with my daughter, and there's still like in a twisted way, there's still this message of like the Christmas spirit and corporatism, like ruining Christmas and what it means, and that's Santa's dilemma in the movie. And I miss those days. I'll even give the Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, a
No,
big
it's not a movie.
a big nod too. Though they feel like Christmas, like programming. Remember when we used to get them fucking Frosty, A Christmas Story? Like, they have a message, they have something positive for you to take. You come out feeling the Christmas spirit. With this one, maybe you want to murder some thugs too. But like it has
Okay,
all
well, it has both of it, and it does have an actual story with, I would say, what, one big twist.
oh yeah.
I would say that there's only one real twist in there, because the whole premise of the movie is what's going on, and then they do what they're doing, like they accomplish it, and he's like, "What the fuck? So what happened?" And I was
And
like, "Oh, you gotta get the
he's
vault
like,
sooner in the morning."
the T101 was the Arnold model. The T1000 was the liquid model. So he's gonna
Close
come
enough.
back as a T1000.
Arnold's gonna be a T1000.
No, T
Oh,
virus is coming
Terrence is
back.
gonna be a
He's a
T1000.
T1000. So right now he's putting to rest.
T1000 Terrence.
Yeah, like it's his final year as T virus is what he's meaning to say. He's gonna come back as a better model, upgraded with the bells and whistles. Now instead of seeing 20 movies, he's gonna see like 500.
Dude, he'd be doing 20 movies a day.
So, yeah, definitely go check out T Virus's channel. He's got reviews, and we love him here. We've had some great conversations. Um, so yeah, I agree with you. That's a solid choice, man. I think we got some good openers. So, you want to hit it with the number 4?
Number 4.
This time I'm gonna let you go first because you're gonna totally like get that look you get when I say something that annoys you for my number 4. So let me hear your number 4 first.
Number 4 comes from a place that's, well, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there anymore. It seems like they've fallen through the floor. DC Super Pets.
That's a bold choice because I
Oh
like
yeah,
that movie. I really like it. I thought it was
I
great.
like
It
everything.
brought a
I like
laugh.
everything about it because I wasn't expecting there to be as much superhero time in it as there is.
And enjoyable.
They're not the
Like because
stars. The Justice League sucks in this movie.
no, they're not the highlights. But it's great to see those nods. And now I don't know about you, but I want to see a Keanu Reeves Batman after seeing like I was like, oh, he's got the voice for it. You never realize until you hear him in the movie for the little bit that he's in it, and you're like, he really does have the voice for Batman. Like he could do an amazing Batman movie.
I like
Uh,
Bat Dog better. Kevin Hart was
oh yeah.
amazing.
Also too, the thing to note is that the Kevin Hart and Rock connection there that they always seem to have in their movies, it wasn't overbearing. That they actually had probably the best chemistry I've ever seen them have. Weirdly enough, as animated dogs, like
Right?
they had some really good chemistry. Interesting enough, the you could hear the Rock sometimes, but for the most part, him playing the super dog, you couldn't really hear
Oh
much
yeah,
of the Rock.
he was putting on he's putting on a little bit of a voice because it didn't sound exclusively like the Rock. Like here and there, yeah, you got the Rock vibes, but overall, I would say not so much.
Yeah, so it was a fun little enjoyment. So my number four is PB's favorite, and we're staying in the realm of DC. My number four is the Batman. You guys know how I feel. I think this movie's a fucking gem. I loved
Oh,
it.
you got a six all the way on the list, hey? A six for a movie that's ranked a six on this list. How shitty is this list? Was your number one movie a 6.5?
so, so obviously I don't have that crazy uh, rating for the Batman, and a lot of people agree with me. But PB just got to be different. Anyways, I thought the Batman was great. The reason why, as I'm going through, and it's not higher, is because
Because it's
I
not that great.
it is that great, PB. Is as far as there is some things as far as like dramatic performance, like it has the dramatic superhero ness of it, but it doesn't have like when I think of movies that are like at that top tier scale, there also has to be, and God, I hate to use this metric, but it's the only one I got. There's got to be this almost Oscar feel to it. Like when we did the last year, it came down to the Joker and Parasite, right? Both of those have qualities of dramatic acting where it's not just a superhero world, but they're crushing it with the dialogue. Who can forget that dialogue that Joker delivers when he says, "You get what you fucking deserve," and
It's pretty good.
like it's got to have those quote. And I feel like the Batman, most of the quotables, as Perp would put it, came from the Riddler. Like uh, like uh,
There's
uh,
no A in Riddler.
like I love how he says, "Please do not lie." That's got to be my favorite thing. And like just Paul Dano, I don't know if he used a voice modulator or not. I heard he didn't, but the way he does that Zod PVDC Super Pets was good. I decided to buy a dog after watching the film. Then I trained a dog to save my city. I don't
You
want
know,
that.
so wait a second. He trained the dog to save his city. I didn't know that Green Arrow was black.
Oh, you have
Did you?
failed this
That's a new
city.
one.
You have failed this city. I was watching Green Arrow the other day thinking, my God, this still holds up. The first season, still arguably best CW has ever put out, besides Smallville. And I would say acting
Mm,
quality wise, Green Arrow's probably beats Smallville because Stephen Amell and everybody is just 110% in that show. But anyways, but yeah, I think the Batman was good, but analyzing my other picks, I'm like, it just doesn't have that thing that elevates it to that like next level to where we could talk about Oscars. Because I'll 100% agree. Like if they said, "Oh, the Batman was getting an Oscar," I would disagree with that because I don't. I think there's potential, but I don't think like PB's criticisms are valid. That he
What do you
said.
mean they're valid? I literally have only ever stated facts about that movie.
No, criticisms. They're not facts. Anyways,
There's literally, I'd literally tell you what happened in the movie. I was like, oh, so Batman finally thinks that he gets ahead of the curve, right? There he is. He's like, yeah, man, I'm here. I'm gonna save this motherfucker. We're gonna get him in protected custody. Solid Batmaning. And then he gets fucking shot by the Riddler because he walks him right into the fucking kill spot.
he
Thanks,
could not.
Batman. Thanks,
Oh my
Batman.
god.
Batman's supposed to be responsible. Thanks, Batman.
He just won't let it go. He just won't let it go. Shit happens. You know, he also killed Raish in the Batman film that everybody held up. He's like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't gotta save you. But I'm still a hero who has an ethical code of not killing people, and I'm still gonna have idiots on the internet defend me and say that, oh, I actually didn't kill him. I just said, oh, I mean, I don't have to, I'm not going to kill him, but I don't have to save him. That's not the same thing as literally I could save him in this moment, and I'm choosing not to. So therefore, hence, I am killing him. Anyways, that's not the point. Like, I appreciate this because a lot of those is very much he got played. It was not anything he could have helped. Maybe the light thing he could have cracked that a little bit, but this is younger Batman. Like he wasn't, he's younger. He's still got he's got them growing pains.
He had all of the pains. The next movie should be Super Batman with how many growing pains he had in this movie.
I mean,
Literally a step behind every fucking way. He had
now
multiple steps behind at the beginning.
now I will give it to you. In the next movie, if the same shit happens, then that'll prove your theory. But let's just say in the next movie, right? If he grows and people are out now getting saved, will you change your opinion about this film and be like, now I see where they were going with it because I see it as an arc. Okay, he fucked up, he made some mistakes. Now, if we see the same mistakes next movie, I will concede and I'll be like, PB was right. That's just shitty writing. But I like to think it's a grand scheme of showing the evolution of Batman and the life.
Every movie, every single movie has the ability to be sequel trilogied. Yes, that is a verb because it happened to it. Because the first movie comes out and you're like, well, it wasn't the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, but it wasn't bad. Looked pretty good, acting was pretty good. They got a black guy to yell, "Whoo!" And then the next movie comes out and you're like, okay, so we don't have to worry about this that happened, or this, or this, or this, or this, and then, okay, and then the next movie comes out and you don't have to worry about the first two movies because they're not connected to each other than the fact that they got the same characters. But you
So,
can also go on the other side of that coin, and the movie that comes after it can give more context to the movie that you saw. No,
so,
ratings can be changed, but Batman literally got somebody killed.
so I'm eager. I can't wait till next year to see if we're still debating
Oh my god.
the same argument. So you wanna hit the number three because I think number three.
Not really! The one jump to number one. Just kidding.
No.
I'm not jumping to number one, people. Number three.
So I'll lead off with this. And give a little prelude before I tell you.
Oh, good. I get to do number one last. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, because I'm interested. Because I think my number
You
one's
would
gonna be
be.
a super hot take. So
Oh, it's not a hot take. It's just a fact of life.
so for my number three, I saw this other movie, and then I saw the sequel to this other movie, And as I thought and I contemplated, I realized if this actress who's in this film doesn't get an Oscar, then there is no fucking justice. And yes, I know technically it might be considered a horror, and I did my horror list, but I'd also consider it more of acting. There's horror elements, but it's more of a grounded story. And my number 3 is Pearl. Mia Goth.
Never seen it. What is this? What is this Pearl movie? They were talking about it at the Perp Awards, and I never even heard of it. I have no idea.
So, if you guys don't know, Pearl is the next in the trilogy following the movie X. And if you haven't seen X, X is about a bunch of people who want to shoot a porno.
I'm
And
sorry. I'm sorry. PB, unfortunately, a lot of humans have heard my dad yell at me. I'm not the son he wanted.
oh, that's
Terrence,
so
Terrence,
sad. I
Terrence,
like him a
Terrence,
lot.
Terrence, Terrence, Terrence. I didn't say just people. Or just humans. I said the humans of the fandom zone.
Yeah, dude, you're always loved here. If you need a hug, just let us know. Holy shit! Like I
I'm
feel
not
like
giving him a hug. Do you know what he like? I'm not his mother, and we all know what he did to his mother.
so.
I'm not coming within kicking distance.
It's you
This
don't
is
want to be
this is punching, but I'm not coming within kicking distance. So fucking dumb.
so. So if you don't know, in X they want to shoot a porn. There's these old people, spoiler alert, who wind up being the killers, and one of them is named Pearl, and she has a husband, and apparently they were a serial killer couple for a lot of years, and there's a lot of wackiness and hilarity that ensues. It's a film by Ty West, and it was just great, mind bending the way he flipped the horror on its head. Because normally you think of Jason, Michael Myers, people who are limber, but it's literally two old people murdering the shit out of all of these young people because they're old. They catch them by surprise, and then they fuck them up. But Pearl, because you don't
Pretty
expect this, like,
straightforward.
I mean, that's how I can put it. You don't expect this old guy with a hunchback to come out with a fucking double barrel shotgun and shoot you in the chest. I mean, it's like he was so nice a minute ago. so,
Yep.
like, and it reaffirmed that I never need to see old people having sex. Anyways, watch the movie X. It's amazing. So Pearl came out, which is the story of the killer when she was younger, and it explains her falling into madness. But it's also done with music. Now, it's not a musical, but there are musical bits in it because she's losing her mind. So they shoot it from her perspective. And sometimes, because she likes Hollywood musicals, that's what she pictures as she's explaining things. And we, as the audience, are seeing it through her eyes. Now, what won me over, me and Bitchy, was there's a scene at the end of the movie where she looks at the camera with tears in her eyes, PB, and does not fucking blink once. It is the most amazing shit we have ever seen, and really shows how great of an actress. Like, do you know how fucking hard it must be to not only have tears in your eyes, which makes you want to blink like a motherfucker, but she has the tears coming down, legit tears,
Wait,
and she's
you
just
had tears in
staring
your
at us.
eyes?
I had tears because she was looking at me, and I'm like, like, what do I do? What do I do?
Jesus
It's like,
Christ, Terrence.
it's almost like at the end of the movie, she's looking at us and she's peering, and she's got this half sadistic, half like, oh gosh, you caught me, I murdered everyone.
Speaking of
Look,
sadistic,
also, PB, also, you don't seem to understand. I don't have to kick you. I could hit you with hands, knees, elbows. You, my friend. So I would never hurt you.
you're my friend.
You're my friend, so I would never hurt you. But there are many ways to do it. I love how he puts that reinsurance in there and then goes, but I could.
Well, I could.
He's like, no, I'd never hurt you because you're my friend, but I could. We missed you, Terrence. So yeah,
Yep.
uh, I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was interesting because it was one of the few movies we got where you actually almost see it in the mind of someone losing their mind. Like, she is going fucking bananas. And the deeper she gets into this and the more she gets rejected because she wants to be a star, and the more people reject her, the more she gets
Yeah,
more
getting
unstable.
rejected. What
Yeah,
a
it's a lot of
bitch.
more unstable until she fucking kills people with
Wait a
acid
second.
and an
She gets rejected.
alligator.
Wait a second. She gets rejected. And that puts her over the edge, and she becomes unstable and starts going homicide on motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's also implied too heavily in the movie that
Wait,
her
what
mother,
did she get? What did she get rejected for?
she wants to be a dancer, so she tries out for an
Oh,
audition
just
and she
wanted to
doesn't get
be.
it.
She just wanted to be one thing. It's not like she's trying to be a jack of all trades, which I guess is also just one thing. But that's not the point. The point is, she just wanted to be one thing and got rejected, and she was like, "Well, I guess it's time to pack it in."
It's more of it's more of she she misreads a situation with her friend and thinks her friend gets the part she was supposed to get, kills her, and then goes, you know what, this killing thing isn't that bad, and just goes fucking crazy. That's more of the. She's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not good at this whole dancing thing. I'll just switch my hobby to murder, and wackiness ensues.
Interesting.
Yeah, check it out. It's a mind fuck. But what is
Seems
your
like such a small thing, but I guess they can mountains out of molehills, right?
And yeah, we all know how that goes. I don't want to say it too loud because my girl can still hear me.
Fucking
Anyways,
number. What number are we on? Who
number
fucking
three.
knows?
What?
Oh, that
What?
sounded like you're never gonna make it on the radio.
So,
Number
what's your
three.
what's your number three?
Hmm. So it had been a while since I saw Brad Pitt in a movie, so I decided to go see Bullet Train. Bullet Train's fucking awesome. That movie is
Oh my
underrated.
god! You know why this would not have been on my list? Because it's the one movie I've wanted to see and been and haven't,
Dude,
and
it's
now I
so
don't
good.
have an
It's so
excuse.
good.
It's on Netflix. I might watch it tonight. I literally have no excuse to not watch this movie.
It's serious, it's
Bullet Train.
hilarious, and it's got action all over the place.
Yeah, even Bitchy was telling me, and she's very specific with the action movies she likes, and she's like, "Honey, why have you not even watched this? Like, this is a movie made for you." And I go, "I know, but I just haven't." It's just one of those movies. Like, every time I look, I'm like, "Today's the day. I'm gonna go see it," and then something happens. I'm like, So that made me more interested. But anyways, like, yeah, it's been on my list. That seems like yes, we will, dear. So that seems like a solid pick, and you know what? I think it's a pretty good like. Wow, it's so weird because you picked the one movie I didn't see to be your number
Ah,
three.
it was good.
Eh,
It's good.
you got me on this one. So for all of those, without ruining it, because
What's
I
up,
guess I'm
Keeper?
watching it tonight. Uh, what made Bullet Train stick out for you? Why did it make your list above all the vast
Dude,
movies?
I just gave you that. Well, I mean, one, it's got Brad Pitt in it. I'm a Brad Pitt fan. Like, you tell me the last time that he did. You tell me the last time he was bad in a movie. Not was in a bad movie. That he was bad. Just
Even
let me
the
know when that
movie
was.
Killing Them Softly, which some people hate for some unknown reason, I thought he was great. I don't remember a bad Brad Pitt movie, to be honest with you. Like, maybe if we're going back to fucking the 90s, and even then, I'd say more TV shows I seen him in, but not a movie. I can't think off the top of my head one bad Brad Pitt movie. Period. Like, maybe 7 Years in Tibet because it felt more like an Oscar, but even that movie is fucking great. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh man, it's good. And who? It's got Domino in it. The old Zazie Beats.
Oh yeah, Zazie Beetz. That's my girl.
She's good in the movie. And then there's a couple. There's a couple other people in there that are familiar, but I'm sure I don't know their
The
actual.
dude from Kick-Ass, he's in that. He
I've
was
seen Kick-Ass like one time. Same amount of times I've seen Bullet
white
Train, and I didn't
dude
put
who he
Kick-Ass
threw
on the
the
list.
bottle of water at.
Isn't everybody in Kick-Ass white?
Okay, he's the dude he threw the bottle of water at.
Okay, I was about to say. Oh, the guy who threw the bottle of water at. That's a great scene. That is a great scene. Like, you
Yeah,
only see that
that was him.
little bit in the trailer. That whole scene is spectacular.
I heard too that the trailer didn't really give away as much, because I watched it and I go, are they giving away the whole fucking movie? But then people, even yourself, they say, no, when you see the whole scene, there's way more to it than just a little clip. And I think that's good, because trailers today give away so much of the movie. You could watch the trailer and not have to watch the movie.
I know. I feel like you gotta watch the entire movie in
Yeah, so
order
that
to, like, it's not one of those where you can get the whole movie in the trailer. Because like any good movie, there's a good twist.
Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait getting me amped. And Carrie, I would do a review after, but the problem is I'm doing this stream earlier because of the fact that I have to wake up early in the morning. So yeah, I don't. I already did another stream with Jake, and now we're doing this stream, and I'm at my limit because I got to work early. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then I don't have another day off until the next Friday. I work this week. I actually work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday will be my next day off. So I got a long, long, long week ahead of me. And with that being said,
Not just a week. I got a long life ahead of me.
I try not to think about it.
Maybe.
I take it a quarter mile at a time, man. Family.
Fuck
so
family. That's
so
not what the holidays is about.
what is your number 2?
Number 2.
Go ahead, you're starting
I
this
had
one
to.
off.
Yeah, I know I start number 2. I know that I start number 2. I had to bring a little diversity into the stream and go with Black Adam.
Ooh, interesting. And you'd get a lot of push. That's a very interesting. So, what
Dude,
made?
Black Adam's a 9. How could I not put it at number 2?
I mean, very true.
I went and saw it and I went, I like every fucking scene in this movie. Even what somebody would call the crap scenes, they're great. Like the dude's
And
just sitting there. I don't know the big Mexican guy. Well, I guess not Mexican. He's Arab. Whatever. They're all the same. We all look the same. We're red on the inside. Just look at those internal parts, preferably on the outside. Anyway, that's a problem you have with Black Adam.
and
He
you know
kills
what's
people.
that was on my list, but I'll tell you, my number 2 only beats it, because
See,
where Black Adam would be 9,
see,
mine
Terrence gets it.
my number 2 is a 9.5, and that's where you got the difference. So, uh, I know
Whoa,
you're
whoa,
curious
your
now.
number 2 is not Black Adam.
Oh no, you're gonna.
Okay, well then we gotta talk about Black Adam a little bit. Like I thought, because we can still talk about, current events per se. You see Black Adam, you see DC Super Pets, and you're like, oh, I know they're not like those aren't directly connected. How could they be? Literally the same actor in both movies playing completely different roles. One of them, he's a goddamn pet.
Yep.
But I was like, yeah, DC is on the rise, man. Like, whoo. We are climbing this fucking mountain. We can see the peak. It's right on the other side of the clouds there. And then they fell off the mountain and
I mean,
decided,
am I?
what? We're gonna literally axe everything. It doesn't matter how good it was. Doesn't matter how bad it was. Fucking get rid of it because I'm James Gunn and I'm in charge now. Like, God
Actually,
damn it, James.
I agree with. I agree with some of his moves, especially considering what The Rock then put out afterwards. And then it's like, oh, now it makes sense why James axed him, because The Rock thought he was going to be DC, and James had to lay down the big dick energy and go, no, 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 I'm creating the universe. And I like that whole, me and James will always be friends and work on projects. And James is like, The Rock's a great guy. I want to work with him, but I just had to show him I have the bigger dick. So that's how I imagine that conversation go. But I'm not one of the people who disagree. I'm optimistically hopeful and curiously intrigued with him rebooting it because uh, it, it was interesting when you hear all the stuff now coming out with The Rock, and that's a topic we'll talk about on an official late night talks. But with The Rock and him sort of not guaranteeing Henry Cavill, and Henry Cavill putting like, I feel bad for Henry Cavill. Okay, did you hear that bullshit articles coming out now from The Witcher because they're
No, I
getting
didn't. I
roasted?
didn't hear anything, guy.
Oh, they tried to say, and I told Bitchy this, and she immediately laughed. So I know this is what people are thinking. They tried to say, okay, are you sitting down? They tried to say Henry Cavill was coming on to women in the set of Witcher. I would argue that
No,
the
he's Henry
women.
Cavill. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill don't come on to women. They come on him.
I go, as soon as I heard
I
that,
didn't
I
say
go,
come on. I just said come.
like, I feel like they mixed that sentence up. What they meant to say were the women were harassing Henry Cavill. It got ridiculous. He's like, hey, 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 okay. I know I have a
Yeah,
giant sword
yeah.
here.
The women were doing the harassment. That's for sure.
I refuse to believe, because they're kind of like, oh well, we don't have any evidence as usual or any like specific thing he said, but there there was just the implication, like, yeah, I could make a lot of fucking implications. Doesn't mean that they're true. As a matter of fact, sometimes on the show I make tons of implications. Guess how many of them are true? I did get one. Ezra Miller,
Depends
I
on.
caught you.
Oh, depends on which sources you're using.
I mean, the one implication I could say was 100% true, and I called before anyone was Ezra, and I will always ride that wave. But
Wait, what
like,
did you? What? Wait, because you called him a piece of shit.
no, because I said there was shit going on. I
Oh,
implied that he
I don't
was.
remember what you said. It was like it was more than, let's say, what, 20 seconds ago. So I have no idea.
That I implied that he was into some shady shit. I went more like too far. I said serial killer, but I definitely put the child shit in there too. Like, I said he was into strange shit, and everyone was like, "Oh, but he's such a great actor and all the stuff he's doing." I go, "What fucking movie are you watching?" Because I watched the Justice League, and he's the weakest part of that movie, and that's saying a lot. Because I'd even say Ray the Bitch Fisher was more of
Mm,
like was more on his acting game than Ezra Miller.
I don't. It doesn't matter how well anybody acts when they play Cyborg if they're not going to say "booyah."
Oh yeah, but that's offensive. Blah blah
No,
blah blah
it's
blah.
how is it offensive? It's a fucking soup.
No, we can't say that because that perpetuates the stereotype that the black community has to face. PB, come on, be fucking sensitive. Since I saw Black Panther 2, it's opened my eyes. Wakanda forever, baby.
Whoa, 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 whoa! You saw Black Panther 2, and it's not in your top five. I put a black movie in my top five.
Oh boy, now I really am gonna look like a racist because my top movies they
Yep,
have
shut
black
the
people
fuck
in
up.
them, but but I still get the diversity points because you want to know what my number 2 is?
Yes, I would. I mean, do I want to know? No. But Terrence wants to know, and he's completely taken over the chat.
My number 2 is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. You guys all do.
Ah,
You guys all do. You all do. I had this spot jumping back and forth between 1 and 2, and the next
good
movie
old
I'll.
Mando and the Rider.
There is, to me, not a comedy movie in years that has come out and been as funny as this movie is. I will fight you. I do not care. I think that my complaint with this movie is, why wasn't this made sooner? Why didn't anybody look at Pedro and Nick Cage and go, you know what? That's an epic friendship story right there. That's gold. I don't know why this wasn't greenlit sooner. I don't know why we had to wait so long to be graced with the most charismatic duo of all time. Like, this is on the level of Starsky and Hutch, Turner and Hooch, any of the great like duos of our time. Like, just think the fucking Mandalorian and no, not the base, the base. Like, and you have Nick Cage being Nick Cage. You can't ask for more. As a Nick Cage fan, you cannot ask more in this movie than what they give you. They go beyond what I wanted as a Nick Cage fan. There's Easter eggs, there's references to his other movies. Literally, Pedro Pascal has a fucking wax of him from Face Off with the two golden desert eagles. This movie, hey, what? Zod PB, Terrence must go, but T Virus Terrence ends December 31st. Terrence will fade into the darkness. Terrence out. It kind of sounded like a supervillain there for a second.
Godspeed, Terrence. Look away, everyone. Do you have tissues for this pick, Zod?
Like, no. Seriously.
Wait, for which pick? Did you say number one?
No. She said for number.
Oh, you're still talking about number two. Okay.
Yeah, like, this movie is everything I would ever want from a Nick Cage movie and so much more. And there's a lot of meta commentary, and the ending is so off the wall, fucking batshit crazy. I would not expect anything less from putting the Mandalorian with the Cage. There was no way, if I was a screenwriter, that I could ever even claim to write that ending better. And little bit of a spoiler, but them watching Paddington 2 and talking about how it's a masterpiece in cinema has got to be the funniest fucking scene I've ever seen. And the crazy part about the scene is, at the end of the movie, it comes back to make an emotional moment with him and his family. It's just like, the movie is just so well written, and Nick Cage just died. And you have Neil Patrick Harris and Nick Cage together too. Like, there's so many great cameos. There's so much. There's so many classic Nick Cage lines. I mean, this is a movie made for Nick Cage fans. And if you're a fan of Nicolas Cage and you haven't seen this movie, do yourself a favor, make your fucking holiday. And this is why I said this was a 9.5. Because by that metric, the next movie has to be a 10.
Does it? My number one's an 11.
Fair enough. But this movie is everything I've ever wanted to see. When I've always talked about, like, I just want to see a movie where Nick Cage embraces the meme and just goes nuts with it, and that's what he does. And it's brilliant. It's funny. It's raunchy, which I haven't seen a raunchy funny comedy in years, because everyone's plays it safe. They don't want to offend anyone. Not this movie. Like, they do drug jokes. They do blatant racist jokes. I mean, everything's in here. And I don't think we'll get another good comedy like this for a very long time. We'll get like Bros, or that shit.
Not a good enough comedy to be number one, though.
No, because the number one is personal, but we'll get to that. So, what do you think about my choice of the greatest Nick Cage movie so far I've seen in his vast filmography?
What's my favorite Nick Cage movie? Is that what you just asked me? Did you just ask me my favorite Nick Cage movie, or did I make that up in my head?
I mean, you just made that up in your head, but run with it. What is your favorite Nick Cage movie? Now that we're on the subject.
I'm not sure.
I mean, because you got The Rock.
Yeah, you got the Welcome to the Rock. You got that, and Con Air is also a good one. Face Off is also a good one. But oh gosh, and I probably haven't even seen it as many times as I should have for it to be my favorite. But I feel like Matchstick Man.
Ooh, yeah, that was good too.
It's amazing. Did not see it coming at all.
No, not at all. Speaking of Nicolas Cage, Sean B says, I heard National Treasure 3 might happen. Have you heard anything? I heard they're in the works, and I did hear, I don't, look, it's Disney. I don't want to get my hopes up because they're a bunch of fucking uh, morons over there right now, but I did hear little whispers that Nicolas Cage was in talks with Disney to come on board for a National Treasure 3 because their show, surprise, surprise, is epically failing. I said, if you want to save the show, it's easy. There's an easy fix to saving the National Treasure show. You string people along with these bullshit characters, and then at the very end, you have Nick Cage step out and find out they're like his apprentices or something, and bam, your fucking ratings go through the roof. I I watched season 2, 3. Shit, they can go 18 seasons. I'll be there, Disney. It's easy. It's the simplest thing. Just like Marvel, you don't need to recast Ghost Rider. You got Ghost Rider right there. He he's talked about he's ready to take the Flaming Skull one more time for a ride. all, all you got to do is just Nick can fit you in his 20 movie shooting schedule. That's what he does. He doesn't
Oh,
stop working.
he's got a work schedule like Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, he's literally got 3 movies coming out next year.
What's up, Lemon Pie?
This is gonna fuck up my top 10 list because at least 3 of those spots now are taken by Nick Cage. Like he's got literally 3 movies coming out next year. So I mean, yeah, Raising Arizona was good. Yeah, Lemon Pie dropped some good ones. Uh, Wild at Heart is great. Joe was another good movie.
The hell is
Uh,
Joe?
Nick Cage. That's all you need to know. He plays a guy named Joe and kicks fucking ass. Like,
Well, what was that other frickin'? What's that other movie? Pig.
and Pig, of course. I
He
have
plays
been
he plays
arguing
Pig.
forever with people about how brilliant that movie is. Come at me. I don't care. That is peak Nicolas Cage act. Like, look. That pig was
Look, look,
adorable,
look.
and Nick Cage was great. Even that weird kid who's in Hereditary was good. David Wolf or whatever. He was good in that movie. Wicker Man is a fucking classic. I mean, not that's
Wicker
Morbius
Man,
levels good.
Wicker Man, Wicker Man.
No, not the bees. The bees.
Oh, that's the bees ones. Okay.
Dude, he fucking punches women in a fucking bear costume. He uppercuts a lady in a fucking bear
I know that I've seen it, but I can't. Like, I obviously remember that scene. Everybody knows that scene because you've probably seen it if you didn't even see the movie. But I don't remember anything else that happens in that movie.
because that movie's so fantastic. Those moments, because the movie is quite dull on its own, but when you get to that ending, man, I felt like they knew that the movie sucked, and they were like, "Okay, Nick, we need you to save this. Just go fucking nuts, buddy. Just we're this isn't even in the script. Nick, just throw some shit in there so we can make this movie. We can make people watch this movie." He's like, "Well, can I wear a bear suit?" And I was also thinking maybe I would scream about some bees. What do you think about that? And they were like, "Fuck it, man. This movie sucks. Just do it. Just fucking clock an old lady in a bear suit. It's got to be like people will talk about it." And god damn it, he was right. Because I'm pretty sure Nick was the one who suggested the bear suit. I have to believe in my mind that like Nick Cage came out and was just like, you know what? I think if I was in this moment, I would put on a bear suit to fool the locals, and then I would go and uppercut this elderly woman. You know, not that I endorse hitting women. It's just she's clearly evil as shit. So I gotta uppercut her, and it's gotta be in a bear suit.
Gotta be in a bear suit.
Yep. Knowing Pay the Ghost was pretty good too. Yeah, just solid performance. So here's the big enchilada. Here's where I'm so fucking curious. What you got, Mr. Pop Culture PB?
Wait,
What do you got for us?
what was your number one movie?
Well, you got to do the whole number one.
Oh. Number one.
So number one came at a perfect time, and I'm gonna be honest with
Didn't it?
you.
No,
It
you're
might
not.
be.
Fuck
It's
you.
gonna be
Fuck your
very
honesty.
personal.
Fuck honesty. Give me lies. Give me
It's gonna be
lies.
very personal to me
Give me sweet
because
little fucking lies, God damn it.
my number one hit number one because I'm actually working this industry, and everything that this movie talks about is literally true about the way people are in this industry. And my number one is the menu. The menu came out of nowhere. It's got very, very dark humor, but it's also got a lot of truth. And there is a political message in it, but it's not political in the sense of elections or things like that. It's a statement on the food industry. And I'm going to go full screen for this. And keep in mind, chat, I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm talking to other people out there who might be eating wherever you are, okay? All you motherfuckers, sit back and let us cook our heart out like we're passionate about what we do. And what do? You leave your fucking trash in the theater that my poor future wife has to clean up after you, and you waste half the fucking food that took us an hour and a half to sit back and bust our ass in a fucking ungodly heat, talking about how much we hate our lives, but we enjoy cooking for you ungrateful pricks. And you sit there on your fucking ivory tower and you talk about, oh, this food was great, but I would have done this and I would have done that. And half of you stupid fucks don't even fucking cook. And this movie is a statement on all these ungrateful fucks who go out and they order at a restaurant and they don't even fucking thank their chef, they don't tip their waitress, and they have this compulsion to think that they can cook better than the person serving them food. Well, if you could cook better than them, then you wouldn't be at a fucking restaurant eating their food talking shit. This movie is a great commentary on all of these selfish, narcissistic, self centered fucks who think just because they watch an episode of Hell's Kitchen or Emerald or Rachel Ray or whatever your fucking cooking channel of choice is, that you could just fucking go in the kitchen and outdo the chef in the back. And I'll tell you what, it's fucking insulting, it's narcissistic, and it's rude. And this movie is one of my favorite movies, and it might carry over pretty much to what I've seen this year because it really highlights just how vain and narcissistic people truly are and how they don't appreciate a fucking service. And this isn't a Hollywood actor serving you a movie or something like that. This is somebody putting their heart and soul into something and then you shit all over it, and then you have the gall not even to tip the person who has to deal with your bullshit. So hopefully every one of you ungrateful pricks watch this movie, and maybe next time you'll go up to your waiter or your waitress, you'll thank them for their service and you'll tip them, or you'll have appreciation for the poor fuck stuck in the back cooking your food to make fucking ends meet, who enjoys it, and you grind them down to fucking nothing into the husk of a person they were, and all they do is like a fucking robot just go to work every day and live an empty fucking void of a life. So yes, I fucking love this movie. I fucking love that it points it out, and I fucking love the statement it makes about cooking and the food industry in general. Stop being ungrateful pricks and appreciate what these people are making for you. And yes, Some people don't care. There are shitty restaurants out there. You can avoid those. But if you go into a fucking 5-star restaurant and you treat the people in there like shit, who literally their whole craft, their life's work, what they do, this is it. They have such passion and you grind them down to nothing. You should be ashamed of yourself and you should die horribly like is portrayed in this movie. And that is why this is my number one movie. So if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin the ending, but I will say I fucking clapped and cheered, and I haven't done that in years because what this this man does at the end to all of these narcissistic fucking critics and these fucking people who are customers for they're customers for years and they don't even know the fucking shit they order. They order the same thing, PB, for fucking years. And he asked this couple, there's a scene where he's fucking tearing into everyone. And he says, "You've been coming here how long? What, 13 years? You were bragging about it to all your friends, right? You've been coming to my restaurant for 13 years. What do you order?" And he could not name anything on the menu. The man has stared at the same fucking menu for 13 years, ordered his food the same way every time.
I
And
feel
he's
his
asked a
pain.
simple as he was asked a simple question like, "What is in what I'm cooking for you? What what do you order? You order it every time." And the guy couldn't tell him. He got the fucking fish wrong. He's been staring at the same ingredients, ordering the same thing for 13 fucking years. And it shows a level of taking shit for granted and taking people's hard-earned work. And this isn't a cheap restaurant. This is a man who's dedicated his
I
whole
thought you
life.
were going to say taking people for granted.
Well, yeah, you are taking people for granted too. You're taking for granted how hard people work. You
It's
know,
amazing the parallels I can put in a film with real life.
yes, and it makes sense, right? Because it's like even myself, I found myself guilty. You ever go to a restaurant, you order the same thing, but I'm sure if we're asked, we don't know what we just get the same thing, right? It's like this conditioning of we expect these things, but we never take the time to wonder the person who's dedicated their lives to making this great thing for us, and we're so cavalier, and we show no appreciation towards the craft that these people have taken. Like cooking is an art. Cooking not everyone can do it. We know that. Like it takes some skill and some talent and a passion. And it's interesting to see a man who is so passionate and watch his reasonings for doing the things that he does in this movie. And to be honest, by the end, I was like, fuck it, fucking light all of them on fire. Like these ungrateful fucking pricks. Like you have the critic who sits there and they know what's in the food, right? They know what they should say. Like, oh, this doesn't have an acidic taste, blah, blah, all that stupid bullshit. But they can't cook. So you have a motherfucker who can't cook, but he's sitting here telling you what your fucking creation should taste like. It's it's got so much fucking nuance to the film, and as someone who's in that industry, and I would say if you cook or you've served people or been in the food industry, this movie really hits those points that people ignore every day. And that's why I fucking love this movie. I can't wait to own it. I'm gonna buy a Blu-ray of it. I can't wait. It's like, and I was going through, when I went to see this, I was going through a tough time in my job, like questioning everything. And I saw this movie and I was like, this was made for me. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go see the menu. And if you even if you like watch Hell's Kitchen or you enjoy food or you cook yourself, you will definitely appreciate what's being said in this movie, because I don't think that customer service people get the recognition that they deserve, because it sucks and you're literally serving other people and nobody cares about what's going on in your life, right? You're just the person getting them their product. They don't give a shit what you got going on. But it'd be nice. It'd be nice every once in a while to get a little fucking thank you or recognition for what you do. Instead of going, oh, give me my food, bitch. Like, I don't know. It just struck a chord in me. I'm very passionate. I think it's one of the best put together films of the year. I think Rupert Fiennes should win a fucking award. He was terrifying and understandable all at once. Of course, you know, everybody was great. John Leguizamo's in it, and he's really good. Um, you know, just and Anna Taylor Joy. Like Anna Taylor Joy, if she doesn't win an award sometime in her acting career, there is no fucking justice. If Brie Larson could get a fucking Oscar, Anna Taylor Joy has done so many just great movies. If she doesn't get an Oscar sometime in her fucking acting career, I don't know what the fuck's going on over in Hollywood because she yeah, there we go, Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, she is absolutely amazing in this movie. She's a good foil, and the perspective and the plot twist that they have with her is very interesting. We'll say she's in another service industry as well. So it's a great parallel that they draw between the kind of industry she's in versus what he's in and what they're trying to say about cooking in general and the food industry and everything else. So, yeah, it was a great movie. I loved it. So, what do you think about my pick?
Never heard of it.
But based off of what I'm saying, could you kind of understand why this would be my number one for the year and why I hold it in high regard?
Yes.
So I can't wait for this. This is the moment we've been waiting for. I feel like there should be a drum roll or whatever. What is your
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
what is your number one for 2022?
Would you like to take a guess?
Oh God, I mean the ones I thought you were gonna have at number one were not, and then the ones that you did, I didn't expect to even be where they were at. So my goodness, I don't know. I would have honestly, I would have said Black Adam was your number one. That's what I thought that was going. So you threw me with a curveball with that one. So I don't know, man. This is exciting. Like I can't even fathom a movie you've seen that is so
You've seen
good.
it. You've seen it too. I don't understand why it's not your number one. I know that you've seen it too.
Oh
This
my
is
God,
ridiculous to
Morbius?
me. Fucking A, baby.
Oh my God.
The greatest movie of all time. And since it came out in 2022, it must be number one of 2022. The Man Bat. Or, no, that's completely different. You get it. The Living Vampire. I don't know. What the fuck they call him?
Morbius the Living Vampire.
They call it Morbin Time.
So, so seriously, that's your number one, Morbius?
Yeah, guy. I've only been
Okay,
talking about it all fucking year.
okay, I got Jesus Christ, I got to know. So what makes Morbius?
You tell me one scene that doesn't deliver in that entire movie. Just tell me one. You got Doctor Who creepy dancing without a shirt on. Where else you can get that? Where? You tell me. You tell me, and then I'll knock her down a peg. But until then, fucking 11.
Holy shit! Out of everything I could have guessed, like I found it odd because I was waiting for Morbius to be in your
You want to know?
list.
You want to know why it's an 11?
Why is it an 11?
Because it's the number one movie of 2022 and the number one movie of all time. 11. I
Well,
don't
you
fuck
heard it
around.
here.
I don't fuck around. Well, when I say I don't fuck around, what that means is apparently I only exclusively fuck around.
Well, I will say, boy, our awards are definitely
Your list is shit. None of our movies are the same.
like think about
How is Black Adam not in the top 5?
no, just for me, I love Black Adam. I enjoy Black Adam. I rewatched Black Adam, but when I was compiling my list, I was thinking obviously on a different level than you are with like okay, acting, directing, like, if I'm sorry, if I'm putting Black Adam against like The Menu, there's not even a fucking winner. That's a no contest. Like, The Menu wins. Like, it's on a different
I
level.
didn't ask why it wasn't number one. I asked why it
I
wasn't in
mean,
the top five. Don't
but
compare it
if
to
I
number
put it
one.
against
Compare
any of the
compare it to
movies I
number
pick,
five. Compare it to number five.
like, okay, if I compare it to my number five, uh, you
See, when
know,
I compare Black Adam to my number five, I put it at number two. No, I
like,
didn't tweet the fucking stream. It's too fucking late. Who gives a shit?
yeah, no, but
The people in the chat will tweet the stream, and then I'll retweet it sometime in 2028. Did you freeze? Did I freeze? You froze, guy. I'm pretty sure you froze. Excellent. What a perfect time to freeze. We get to the end of the fucking list, and he's like, well, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the reliable technology. I cracked a crystal. Unbelievable. Oh, can down, can down. That was a disaster. Unbelievable. I should probably get rid of that can, but whatever. He'll be back eventually whenever he figures out that he's not here anymore. See? Kicked him out of the StreamYard, moved me to full screen. That's what everybody wanted to see, I'm sure. I'm oh so certain of it. Although, that's probably a lie. A sweet little lie. I don't know if I'm certain of anything. Other than maybe more bases in 11. That seems like it's got to be a fact of life. I don't see how anybody can get around that. I don't know how the fuck this guy. He even got it in the top five. He's the greatest movie of all time. He didn't put it in the top five for a year. It's like, did you get fucking neuralized or something? I don't understand. I don't get it. So they're compiling a list like you don't even need to make a top five. You only need to make a top four because Morbius is number one. Like you don't have to. You ain't got to dick around with five movies. If you're doing a top 10, you only got a top 9 because you know what number one is going to be. It's unbelievably easy. Like me. Holy shit! I don't know. Did his internet die? Is he going to send me a text message? Is he just going to pop back up into the stream at any moment? I have no idea what's going to happen. Boom. I would have timed that fucking perfectly if your device would have been connected, you asshole.
yeah, the cold weather is fucking up my internet right now, so
I was wondering. Yeah, it's what do you got there? -20
no,
Celsius? Celsius? You got fucking Celsius. I only fucking Celsius now because I'm stupid.
no, we're actually warmer. We're -4.
Wait, -4 Celsius?
Yeah,
You don't even know how it works.
I'm a villain. I don't understand your Earth temperatures.
Okie dokie then. What is it? Everybody thought that you were stuck in the phantom instead of the fandom zone. It was disturbing.
But yeah, I got two things. The first big, damn it. The second one says /-6. So I don't know if the second one is Celsius or if the first one is.
What do you mean?
Because there's two ones. They're saying with the wind, it's -6. It feels like -29. There's a bunch of stuff on the Weather Channel shit. But the big bold number they want me to pay attention to says -4. And then
Okay.
they do that. and then they do,
The
but with
stream
the
must be
windshield factor.
at premium levels right now that we've relegated ourselves to talking about the fucking weather.
But yeah, so yeah, both very interesting movie choices. I would have been curious to see what Husky's list was, because that would have probably been vastly different from ours. Because he saw 2 movies this year.
I have no idea how many movies Husky saw.
I know, because there'd be movies.
It'll be a top 1 of 2022. You didn't put Maverick on the list either. I didn't see that one yet.
No, no. As far as Top Gun Maverick goes, the reason why it didn't make it, it would have been on the top 10, but it wouldn't have made it in my top 5 because of the fact that the shots are awesome. You know, the action is pretty stellar, but the story is, it's just like there's bad guys doing bad shit, so we got to get in our planes and blow shit up. I mean, when I compare that to like the deep story telling that is on the top of my list, it just kind of falls short. Um, I love the fact they shot. They used cameras in the cockpit to simulate when they were doing the flying stuff. I think that that's all great on a technical level. It's really good. But if I go like to like, yeah, I was amped, I was excited, but like my number 1 left an impact on me. My number 2 left a joy
Now
in
you're
my
talking
soul.
about leaving impacts.
Like, yeah, I think if it's on your list at the top, it also leaves some kind of an impact. It's got something to say. It's not only got something to say, but it
Leaves an
writes it
impact
in
that
an
has
intelligent
something to
way.
say. How many other ways could you paraphrase this? Because I'm down for that right now.
Like, uh,
Does the movie speak to your soul?
I mean, a good movie should. And then, you know,
Should
you got
should
it
make you
should.
feel the things that you don't want to feel.
It should make you feel all the things.
It should make you feel all of the things.
All of the things.
Really, a great movie would make you feel all the things.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Like, for
What if you
instance, my
do you
number.
want to feel all the things? Why would you want to feel all the things? Please explain this to me as why you would want to feel all the things. Because there are a lot of fucking things out there that a person could feel, and I don't think that I want to feel all of them. I would like to feel some of them. I don't think I want to feel all of them, guy. Not all of these are what I would call positive emotions.
All right, let me give you a great
Like,
example.
holy
Like,
fuck, have you ever seen a movie with a
yeah.
dog?
Oh God. Okay. All right. All right. We do agree with that because when you start fucking with dogs, like, nah.
I just
Oh
watched
my
one
God.
not too long ago because I was like, you know what? My
Like a
eyes are.
dog's purpose
Whoa,
and
whoa, I
Marley and
watched.
Me.
Well, don't forget a dog's journey. The dog's
And a dog.
like a
Oh.
dog's dude. A dog's journey. Like
Oh.
no, like what? It's the completion. Like how many times out there have you seen something that actually comes full circle? Like it seems like it comes full circle, but it didn't actually come full circle. Like I don't think that the Force ghosts are hanging out together.
But just
Like
like that.
Luke and Anakin are not like doing a father-son lightsaber battle. Like, oh, we're just having fun out here, guys. It's not
Like, yeah, and the whole thing too with like the dog constantly going to like heaven in his version, and then he gets to
not
play
constantly
catch.
going. No, what? Yes, it's the end of that movie that is holy
Ah,
fucking shit. It's because you watch the entire first one, and you're like, okay, the dog is trying to get back to its owner, but then Ethan decides to give what Bailey, boss dog, his new purpose to take care of CJ. And then he does the whole fucking cycle over again and works his way back to taking care of the little fucking girl. And then Ethan fucking dies.
I was like,
But it was the first time. It was the first time that Bailey was able to be there for Ethan, and the only time. because of how it works. And then I thought that was going to be the emotional climax of the movie. The first time that I
Nope.
seen it, right? I thought for sure this is going to
Yep.
be the emotional climax of the movie, but it continues on for I don't know what another 10, 15 minutes or something like that.
For
Something like
what
that.
seems like forever, as it's pulling, as it's doing a scorpion and pulling your heart from your chest while you're staring down, like it did the Get Over Here, and you just like, oh, there's my heart. The movie just ripped it out and showed it to me, and I'm watching them now as they're crushing it in its hand. Like, okay, John Campia, John, if you ever watch this, I know you watch me sometimes, John. That's emotional weight. A dog's journey, that's the definition of emotional weight. That's how,
Yeah,
not
a
fucking
dog's journey is
Aquaman.
the one that does it right. Anyway, Bailey dies at the end of the movie again, but this
For
time,
real.
he completed his purpose. And what does he get to do? The only thing that he wanted to fucking do for the rest of eternity. Wouldn't that be fucking beautiful?
I mean, oh man, and it's so deep on because you could take that on like a human, and see now you get what I'm saying. That leaves an impact because you could take that. There's so many
Yes, I
layers
know,
to
and
that
it leaves an
story.
impact every fucking time that I watch it, which I'm not telling you the number.
Because you're like you could take that on like a human level, like really at the end of the day, right? That's all humans want too. Like a dogs and human beings themselves, they're not different in the fact of what they want, is that feeling of connection and love. And at the end of the day, that's what people want too. And whether you get that with a dog or whether you get that with someone else you meet, at the end of the day, you're hoping when you die, y'all will meet each other. Or if you hate your wife, you're looking forward to death. Either way, there's because I know a lot of
Well,
people who are like,
okay, so,
I can't wait to
okay,
die.
question. No, I get that. Like, that's why in dinosaurs they throw the old people into the freaking volcano. They also don't have Social Security there, but that's a different story. Um, I definitely had a question for you, and now it's go. Did you fucking freeze again?
No, I was waiting for your
Holy
question, but
shit.
you froze.
I told you
I thought you
I
froze.
don't even know what we were talking about. Dogs, emotional weight, the afterlife, something about the afterlife. If the afterlife. Yes, here's a question. Read that comment first. I got her locked up in here now.
Lemon Pie brought up another great supporting argument for my number one, which was Zod watched his fantasy come true of his rude customers being ended, and it's his number one movie. Yeah, like, yeah, that might be a little bit. It's just like I watch this going, oh, if I had the money he had,
Yeah,
this would be the plan.
if I could turn back time.
If I could find a way.
Yep.
Um, so what were you gonna say about the afterlife? God, we're getting
No,
deep here.
I wasn't going to say something about the afterlife. I was going to pose a question to you about the afterlife. If the afterlife is what you say it is, what are we waiting for?
I mean, shit, isn't that just a question that
I can tell you
everybody's
what the fuck. I can tell you what the fuck I'm waiting for. But like, if the afterlife is what you say it is, which I don't know, maybe it is. How many times have you seen two people? Two people. We'll do it that way, not this way. One dies and the other one end up dying like the next day or the next week or relatively soon after the first one, and they were married for like 60 fucking years or some shit like that, and you're like, oh, died of a fucking broken heart, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
I believe it
Like, it's
100%.
I know there are stories out there where it's happened to. I mean, there are still old people, but it's essentially healthy. I think there might be some stories out there where there was like he was in his 40s or she was in her 40s. I was like, well, that's super fucking young to, you know, die of a random heart attack when you're in, I mean, not like peak physical shape like a professional athlete or something like that, but if I remember correctly, like he wasn't in shape like I'm in shape.
Yeah.
So if the afterlife is what you say it is, what are we waiting for? Let's pack in.
I think it's this sense too that we're sentient and we're here and there's not a clear defined reason. So it's like we then create our own mission where we're like, okay, now that I've done whatever it is in your personal life or how you've the level of success you look to achieve. Like me, I ain't gonna fucking die till I rule the world. Zod 2025. And I'm not gonna die until I've done everything I wanted to. But I do now having my daughter and being with a woman that I really love, and I
Yeah.
have thought about that, and I'm like, I'll be honest with you, like bitchy, if
The
you have
afterlife
fun,
doesn't look very appealing at the moment, does it?
yeah, because then you think about it, and it's like, damn, it's such a cruel and ironic joke because it's like, what if you do achieve that happiness, and then it's like God or whoever you choose to believe in is like, oh well, time to pack her in. It's your fucking time to come upstairs, right?
Yep.
And then it's like that's been a question I've been finding pondering more. Like, okay, am I gonna see the person I spent a majority of my sentient life with, or is it just gonna be like, ah, you don't need to worry about that. We've got
Um,
we've got cupcakes. Or does it start over?
I'm not sure exactly how it works. Like, obviously, all the religions are different. They're all still the same, though. Like, they got a heaven, they got a hell, whatever. So, most, like, I mean, when you talk to people who aren't religious, what are they doing? Like, what's their plan? And they're like, well, I have to stay alive as long as possible because this is the only way that I can find true, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, shit. Can't think of it. One of those days.
It's one of those things, and wow, we
I'll
went
find it.
like,
I'll
but our
find
list
it.
is done. We're just bullshitting. It's one of those things where I've sat back and I've thought about it, and I'm like, atheism must be lonely because if you think about like if you're Christian or whatever you choose to believe in, no shade here, whatever you choose to believe, that's good for you. I know what I believe. I don't force that on people, but it's in my mind, I have to believe in it because just can't believe that it just ends and that's it. That to me is the most depressing thought because it's like that's all you get, and then there's nothing. And it's like, well, it's such a miracle everything that's happening that it has to have been created or by something. You know what I mean? Something greater than us, and maybe it's fucking aliens. Who the fuck knows? Maybe Tom Cruise has got it right, and we get beamed up to the fucking mothership. I don't endorse that, by the way. Fuck you, Scientology people. You're fucking weird. But anyways, um, but no, I think that uh, you know, it's for me, it's always been a sad perspective hearing that theory that life just ends because it's like, really? So you're telling me that I achieve all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, what fucking difference does it make because it just ends, full stop? Like, PB, we don't go much into our religious backgrounds, but to you personally, and I know you joke around a lot, but why we're such good buds is you got a very unique and logical way of looking at things, and sometimes very cold and calculated. But where do you land on that? Do you believe it's just done, full stop, that's it, and then you cash in your chips and nothing happens? Or do you hold a hope that like you're gonna see that dog in the field and you guys are gonna play catch for all of eternity?
The
Because I'd
dog
be with
isn't
that.
what I
I'd be
want to see
Bailey.
in that field.
I want to see Bailey. That's like I go to heaven and like my daughter, uh, my beautiful woman, and Bailey, and we can all play catch together. And Dennis Quaid. I want Dennis Quaid to throw me the fucking football.
No, what would be interesting is I feel like it's got to be a mutual thing, right? So let's say, for the sake of argument, that, you know, you're a good son, so you loved your father, right? Maybe you don't necessarily like him, but you're like, well, he's my dad, so I got this pit of love stuffed down someplace inside me.
God, I can relate to that.
Yeah, we try to keep it apt. But on the other side of the coin, nobody ever, I mean, you think you might know what somebody thinks, you think you might know what somebody feels, but I can guarantee you they didn't voice or type or write all of it. They might have told you 99%, but they left out the part where, you know, they like to eat their earwax, and you're like, well, that's a deal breaker right there. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to kiss somebody that's got earwax like plastered to their teeth. That's gross. So you don't know how other people feel. You don't know what other people think. You don't know what's going on in their brains. So maybe your dad doesn't love you. He's like, fucking hey man, I told that fucking whore to get an abortion and now I'm stuck with this kung fu motherfucker. So, am I hitting close to home anywhere here? Um, I don't think that you see these people the way the afterlife works. I think the only people that see each other are the people that have mutual love, but then I also think that it works in the sense of multiple places at once. Like you're a spirit. You're just a spirit. You're just a soul at this point. There's no physical form to hold you in. What's to say that you only have to be in one location at a time? Because do you know the rules of the afterlife? No, you don't fucking know the rules of the afterlife. Nobody knows the fucking rules of the afterlife. We're just all, at least most of us, I guess, not all of us, which is tragic. We're trying to avoid it. Haven't you been trying to avoid it pretty much your whole life?
Yeah,
You're
it's
like,
like
I would like to do that, but it would kill me. So I'll pass.
it's like one of those things. Like I liken it to like an action film where you see a really cool stunt. You're like, look at that car go off that fucking bridge, and as
Now,
it explodes, someone jumps out. It's a cool visual, but I'm not gonna go out and try it the next day.
how do you feel about reincarnation? Yes, yay or nay? Just yay or nay? To
I'm gonna
possible. To possible.
I'm gonna say my open-mindedness, believe it or not, possible, but for me, unlikely.
Oh, very unlikely. I would go with very unlikely, but still possible. Like,
Yeah.
sure, spirit world. I don't know how spirit world works. I don't even know how my own fucking spirit works. So reincarnation. So you die, you get reincarnated. Um, Now the point of bringing that up is to couple it with. Do you know what a twin flame is?
No,
Do you know what a soulmate is?
absolutely.
Okay, soulmate. Everybody knows a soulmate is unbelievably easy to explain. You have a soul and another soul, and they're meant to be together forever. Now, a twin flame is a split soul.
Interesting.
So it's somebody that you're still going to have a massive connection to, but they are not your soulmate. Like it's somebody that, like you said earlier, they're going to have an impact on your life. They're going to change things in your life. Whether or not it's going to be better or worse, you got to see where the chips fall to find that out. But it makes me wonder if soulmates are a thing, twin flames are a thing. What happens when those, like how do you get all the way up? You got to be like, okay, I got reincarnated as a dot Indian, so no beef for me. I'm getting myself upstairs next time. Like, I don't know. I don't know how any of this stuff works. But what I do have is a million questions that nobody has answers to. I
And
shouldn't say
that's
that. I got a million questions and there's one answer.
which is wait and see.
42.
Like, yeah, I find it so interesting,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. We'll wait and see. Wait and see. Wait and
wait
see.
and see.
Wait and see. Okay, so wait and see. Now here's the question. How long? How
And
long would you? How long would you wait to see?
you know,
At what point are you going to take action?
some days longer than others. Some days I'm like, you know what? I'm liking this chilling with the family thing, and then some days you have that one bad day, and you're like, Jesus, take the wheel, take take
No, I
take the
would rather
wheel.
Jesus. No, if you're in that situation, it's like Jesus, please let go of the wheel because I'm not holding on either.
It's like, yeah,
Time to pack it in.
it's yeah, and this is the I guess this is the magic of film, right? We're sitting here, we went from a dog's journey to the meaning of life. That should like that should
No,
tell
no, no,
you
no.
what a
Wait,
movie.
you think that we're talking about the meaning of life? Because at no
Oh,
point was I don't think I was talking about life. The whole crux of my argument was we're dead.
well, I mean, and that but that
Afterlife.
does
Afterlife.
but the
The
afterlife
afterlife, the
does.
afterlife lasts much longer than life does. Now, so I said like the soulmates, right? Okay. Are you going to be able to meet up with these people? Like, because you're not going to know. You'd have no idea because I'm alive, right? I'm completely alive. You have no idea where your fucking soulmate is. Nobody knows. You don't know where they are until you found them. Like, once you found them, then you're like, oh, right over there, baby. I'm on my way. Right?
Merry Merry
Like you know.
Christmas to you, Papa Cotton. Thank you
Merry
for
Christmas, Papa Cotton. 7.
and you know, I guess that's the whole interesting part about it too. It's like and I always find that the ironic, cruel joke of everything, like when you find happiness, it's like, well, if this is happiness here on Earth, right? Then the afterlife better be a fuck of a good party. 'Cause this is
The
like, yeah,
afterlife, the way that I'm the afterlife is supposed to be like a dopamine drip.
like, you know, I better like see Tupac putting on tons of performances. I like to think he made it in heaven. I'm not 100% sure. It depends on what your rigid interpretations are. Because some people could be shaking their head going, that man ain't in heaven. You ain't going to see him performing. But I disagree. Maybe he is.
You could
I don't
say that
know.
that man isn't in heaven because of everything that he did in his life. But anybody who knows anything about the crucifixion knows that you can be redeemed at any moment.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's, I believe that was the whole point of that whole thing was that,
Well,
right?
I mean, everybody knows what it looks like. It's 3 people up on a hill. One of them Jesus. 2 of them are not good people. Maybe not bad enough people that you're supposed to murder them, but they're like, we ain't got the prison space. And they're like, how much prison space do you got? We're like, we didn't allocate any. We just kill all of them. We don't give a
There's,
fuck. They're going to the
there's,
afterlife. We don't give a fuck. They'll sort it out over there. It's fine. We're gonna chop his head off. Motherfucker's gonna run down Snake Way. They'll fucking sort it out.
he'll he'll know exactly where he's heading. Uh,
I'm trying to throw the pop culture references in there every now and again. It seemed like we had gotten to the depressing point of the stream.
yeah.
We really needed Q's Queen here because what we're talking about, like suicide prevention. Call 1-800 blow this.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's
Oh, I
I
mean,
think
don't
it's
blow this. That's what I meant.
like I think it's because like me and you like Stargate, we also like the sci-fi stuff, right? And by that logic, and I always find this funny too because I've gotten into
Stargate
Star
logic,
Trek.
the best kind of logic there is. Didn't we
Exactly.
talk about Stargate not too long ago?
Oh yeah, I feel like we need to do
And
the
I
one
was
thing we
telling you,
haven't
and
done.
well, we can reiterate. Like Stargate has, what is it? What like Chinese proverbs, right?
Yep.
Chinese proverbs, ducks in a feather, right?
Yeah. Chinese proverbs, and
No,
it's like
Teal'c has the best line of the entire fucking. I don't want to say show. I want to say of their entire universe, and that is not the line, Carrie. Sorry. It is a great line by him, especially in the episode Heroes when he's being interviewed. General Hammond said that I had to be here for an interview. Did he tell you you had to answer questions? He did not. It's like, okay. But no, you get all the way to, and God, that's what a title name for an episode. Unending, and it's your series finale,
and it's literally unending.
and it literally unends. They
Like
go into a time dilation field, and then they pull a share. They pull the share and turn back time.
yeah, so it's
Right? Isn't that
literally
Cher?
like yeah, yeah, that's true.
Okay. Okay. You got that right. And then, but you know who don't get to turn back time? That fucking Jaffa. No turning back time for him. One person had to stay old, and because he's on that true tone in life, he'll get to live extra long.
I liked
But
old
he
Joe.
has to live with all of the memories that he has. Can you imagine? Can you
That
imagine? Like that is the only way in which I wanted to time travel. Because I was like, okay, the only way I want to time travel, because I know there's all types of different ways that people execute their time travel. I want to only travel my consciousness through time.
I
That's
mean
it.
that makes sense now.
That's the only. I mean, you're still going to be in a. You're going to be in an alternate timeline, but you'll be there. Like,
Yeah.
leave this fucking husk behind. Fuck this thing. Go back to the beginning, and you know, then the way that the what do I want to say game board is set up, the playing board, the game of life. You know how it's fucking set up then, and you know where and when, because sure, maybe you're like, okay, I know how this lottery turns out. Winner. Sure. I mean, you could do that. You could, assuming everything's going to play out essentially the same. You could try and do that, or you could bet on sports. That happens in Back to the Future. You could do that too. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do,
With the
but you need
knowledge
the
that you have.
information.
Yep. You
Right.
need to
You
know
need
who's
the
gonna win.
information. That's the only way that any of this works. Is if you got the information, then you can go back and holy fuck, who was I listening to before? They were talking about. I was watching the beginning of Loki again. That's what it was. He's talking about taking forks in the road. He's like, yep, every choice. You come to a fork in the road, and you can go left and you can go right, and you will choose wrong every time and end up living a life of regret. But we'll parlay that into another point. Would you rather, because everybody, every single person has regrets. Would you rather regret the stuff you did or the stuff you didn't do?
Me personally, that's easy. I'd rather regret what I did. Like I've done a lot of dumb
No,
shit,
I would
and
much rather fucking regret doing than being like, I wonder if I had.
like every time we do a stream, and I've gotten that question like, "You got some crazy takes, blah blah blah," and I say all sorts of shit. But do I regret any of it? No, because that's how I honestly feel. I know it's out there. I know it's on the internet. Everyone who's gonna pull back a video and go, "Remember that year when Zod uh, had fucking picked Parasite over Joker, even though him and Stevie were like." in love with it, and even though I gave my reasons, still people are baffled by that choice. But look, no, I don't regret saying what I said and
Hold
defending
on,
my
no, no, no,
reasons
no.
for it.
Don't. No, you don't. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about stuff where you think you might regret it. What is a regret you do have for something you did?
Ooh, I'd have to say if I'm taking
Because if we're talking like just before I said, you got to have the information. The only way to have the information is to make it happen.
okay, if I'm going, I'd probably have to go back to high school for this. When I was with the
Sure.
person I was first with, and you know how we've all done it. You've all been young. Y'all have done it, okay? Where you go, this person is the one I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with, right?
How fucking old were you?
It was like at that time 15, 16, all the way
I
till
had
19.
I had nobody that I thought when I was that old. I was like, oh, it would be nice to be with this person, but I don't think I ever took it to the extent of, oh, that's the one forever and ever. Amen. Not when I was in high school. Holy fucking shit, man!
Hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm almost done, dear.
Is that some kind of joke? He's not almost done.
So, so here's here's the thing with that. Uh, the regret part comes that I used to tell the story like
Because
I
you're
was.
gonna regret not putting Morbius number
I'm
and that would be a thing
that
you
might be
didn't
a
do.
regret. Yes.
Yep. But
Um.
then again, I might regret putting Morbius number one.
Oh my god, I can't wait
So,
to see the replay. Like, what the fuck? So, time will tell on that one.
yep.
But it's like when I first did what I did now. Since I did this never happened again, but I did wind
Oh,
up leaving the area of New York that I was originally from to go to a more city, suburban kind of part. And when I did, the person that I was with in a relationship for numerous amount of years, I met a cheerleader, and broke up promptly with the person that I was with to be with this person. Found out they were horrendous, and realized the error
whoa,
of
whoa,
my
whoa,
way.
whoa. So you're telling me you had somebody, right?
Hmm.
You had to this. How long ago was this? When did this happen?
It was when I was coming out of high school, so
Okay, I don't need an
around
exact
there.
fucking number. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Just need a general time. You had someone. How long had you been together?
like 3 years, 4 years.
Okay. So what made you make the jump?
Did I mention they were a cheerleader?
You did. Oh, so it was exclusively a physical jump because I don't like know unless you're like identical twins, which obviously happens. Like every single woman out there looks different. They all look different, and just because a person's attracted to this person over here doesn't mean they're not also attracted to this person over here, and they look completely fucking different.
No,
Like they
no,
can think that they're both hot, but it sounds like you're like, oh well, this one's hotter than the one I'm dating, so
no. It was more of a. There was also a distance factor too, and I don't
I
care what
don't think
anyone
that.
says. Long distance relationships are when you can't see the person as much as you used to. That does factor
Like
into it, and
physical attractiveness is important, but it cannot be the only thing, guy. In fact,
so
it's important, but it shouldn't be the most important.
and also too you start to hang out with a person, you find out you have a lot of likes and interests that they do, this person is closer, you're doing more activities with them than the other person, and it's the story as old as time, right? And then you wake up one day and be like, hey, what am I doing? So the moral of the story is that's why I don't believe long distance relationships work, but sometimes they do. In my particular situation, it did not, and I did have a regret about that because the way I went about it, if you guys know how I am on my
Wait, this
channel,
is something you did. So leaving the one person for the other person, you regret doing it because you wasted a whole bunch of time for no reason.
yeah, and also the way went about it when I think about the wording and how I put I was very cold.
What, you told the previous chick, you're like, we can't do this anymore. And she was like, what happened? I don't understand. And you went, the other one's got bigger tits. So yeah. What?
I would say it was that heartless, but it was more along the lines of being pretty brutally
Did you say
honest.
there was another person?
Oh yeah, I did. It was yeah, I was
I
young
don't
and
know how to break up with people. I'm not the expert when it comes to that, but I know you don't fucking tell them, hey, um, like I had a really good time with you for the last 4 years, but look at that fun over there! Oh my
yeah,
god.
and this goes back to it too. Like a couple of years later, so how this rounds about to my regrets. A couple of years later, I would have a lot of situations in which the same fucking thing happened to me, and I went to
Which is
myself,
what, you miss
what?
somebody and then somebody else shows up?
And then you're like, on the other end of this,
Women.
like, this is not a good feeling. But it's one of those things where, and the person that this was with, I've still talked to occasionally, or say, once in a while, I see a
It's
message
a
or a
long
message
story.
her. Yeah, so the gist of it was that at the end of the day, she wound up being with someone. They have two kids together. They're living a happy life. I got with Erica. I am completely happy. Uh, you know, all's well that
Alright,
ends
shut the alright. 1-800 shut the fuck up.
well.
You're happy? All's well that ends well. Let's shut her down.
Yeah, and that's just it,
Oh
right?
my god, but before we shut it down, here's the short version.
But here's the short version.
No, no,
As
I'm gonna. Oh, you get okay. When you're done, go ahead. Sorry.
But at the end of the day, it's like without making those mistakes and having those regrets, I feel like you don't become the person that you are going to be.
What if you don't
Uh,
want to be that person?
then you've made
What
a
if you
lot of
don't? What?
bad.
Right, you've made so
ugly
many
choices.
bad choices that you're just a completely broken person at this point, with no actual hope for happiness in the future. Right?
Then you're Loki, and you need to find the time force people and take the right fork and stop taking left fork in the road because the left is not working. Get off the train and do something
Nope.
drastically
Get
different.
off the train and go to moviepalette.com and put in code Zone15, save 15%.
Yes, so I think that's a good.
Guaranteed to arrive after Christmas.
So I think that's a good place for us to get off the train because I've got
We
to go
didn't do a
get.
promo the whole time. I had to get at least one in there.
No,
Whoops.
that was brilliant. That was great. It was short, concise. It had to do with the topic. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna get
People
off
like
this
trains.
train and I'm gonna go on the bullet train. So what do you got?
Ooh.
Yeah, what do you got coming up and what's new in the world of pop culture PB and his search for the meaning of life or afterlife?
Zero, zilch, nada. In other words, 42.
42. Well put. Yeah, surprisingly, I got nothing, man. I have no fucking idea. I've got work.
Go check out the other people. Go check out Cybernetic Husky, PurpMinded, Mad Squirrel. Is it Mad Squirrel or is it Mad Squirrel Conversation? I don't remember now.
I think it's Mad Squirrel Conversations, I
Conversation,
want to
right.
say. Yeah.
Justin Proper, and come back, Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie. Stevie, come back. You can blame it all
Not
on me.
on us.
And I'm sorry, but I just can't live without you.
That was beautiful.
Well, it was Stevie. If you're out there, that was for you. But yeah, and go check out Killjoy Jake.
Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous, Les. It's okay.
Go check out Killjoy Jake
Oh
and
yeah,
some.
check out Killjoy Jake. Who did I forget? I feel like I forgot someone.
No,
Oh,
I think we
Jackie.
got.
No, Jackie.
Oh yeah,
You
Jackie.
put her in the fandom zone chat, so
Jackie, Books by Jay. Go
Books
check
by
her out
Jay.
too.
Go check that out.
Yeah, she's got some very philosophical things, some coffee and thoughts. It's all good. Go
Um,
check it out.
I'm going to cut you off when you say your outro, just so you're aware. With
But no,
what I was with the best quote from all of Stargate.
okay.
So
Go ahead, take us out.
no, you're supposed to say the first part of it, and then I'm supposed to cut you off. That's how it works. Don't fuck with the
Oh
system.
well. As always, remember the only rule here in the fandom zone.
Good things come to those who wait.